If you're aiming for permanent residency in Australia through the subclass 189 visa, you're probably already watching the calendar, waiting for the next invitation round. But while you wait, it's crucial to understand how this next round might be different from the last ones, and what that means for you. So, in this video, we're going to break down what to expect in the next 189 PR visa invitation round. We'll talk about how the system has shifted, which occupations are likely to be favored, how points really matter now, and why waiting without preparing is no longer an option. First, what is the subclass 189 visa? The 189 visa is a points-tested permanent residency visa. It's for skilled workers who aren't sponsored by an employer or state government, and it's purely based on your individual skills, qualifications, and how you rank in the points test. This visa allows you to live and work anywhere in Australia, and if you're granted one, it's a direct pathway to becoming a permanent resident. What's unique about the upcoming invitation round? Since mid-2023, the Department of Home Affairs has been adjusting its skilled migration strategy. There's now a stronger push for addressing skills shortages in key industries, particularly healthcare, engineering, construction, and teaching. The upcoming 189 invitation round is expected to reflect that shift even more clearly. Rather than broadly issuing invitations across a wide variety of occupations, the government is likely to narrow its focus even further on sectors with long-term shortages. This means your occupation could either get fast-tracked or ignored, depending on how it aligns with the government's current labour priorities. So it's no longer just about meeting the points threshold. It's about having the right occupation at the right time. While scoring 90 or 95 points used to put you in a strong position, the latest invitation rounds have shown that it's not just about the number of points you have, but how your occupation ranks in current demand. Take ICT roles as an example. In past years, someone with 85 points in an ICT occupation would likely get an invite fairly quickly. But in the last few rounds, many applicants in ICT with even 90+ points haven't received invitations, because the government is prioritizing other fields like aged care and teaching. So yes, points still matter, they always will, but occupation and timing now play a much bigger role. What occupations are likely to be prioritized? Based on what we've seen in previous rounds and recent government signals, the following sectors are likely to be in the spotlight. Healthcare, which includes registered nurses, aged care workers, and medical laboratory scientists. Construction, which includes civil engineers, quantity surveyors, and project managers. Education, which includes secondary school teachers and early childhood educators. Then we have engineering, which includes mechanical, electrical, and structural engineers. These roles aren't just temporarily in demand, they're seen as critical for long-term national development, especially with infrastructure, housing, and public health, all under pressure. So, if your occupation is within these areas, your chances are definitely higher in the next round. But if your occupation is in fields like finance or marketing, you may need to consider alternative strategies, like the 190 state-sponsored visa, rather than relying on a 189 invitation. How many invitations are expected? This is a tough one, because the department doesn't release exact numbers, but based on recent patterns, don't expect tens of thousands of invitations like in the last round. We might be seeing smaller, more targeted rounds, often only a few thousand invitations per round. So competition is tighter, and the bar is higher, and the rounds are more strategic. In other words, the government is being picky. What about the timing? Historically, the major invitation rounds happen in July and January, aligning with the start of Australia's financial year and calendar year. Smaller rounds may take place in between, but July is usually the big one. That means the next round will likely take place in July 2025, and many applicants are already positioning themselves for it. If you haven't submitted your expression of interest yet, now is the time. If you have, but your points are borderline, Consider how you can improve your profile, whether through better English test scores, more work experience, or completing a skills assessment in another eligible occupation. What if you're waiting and hearing nothing? Thousands of applicants are stuck in this silent limbo. EOI submitted, points calculated, but no invite in sight. This is incredibly frustrating, especially when your points seem decent. But here's what you should consider doing. Make sure you're aware of where your occupation stands. If it's on the core skills list and marked as high priority, that can significantly impact your chances. Keep your expression of interest up to date. Every improvement in your work experience or English score matters and should be reflected in your profile. Explore all available options, including state nomination pathways. Some states like New South Wales, Victoria, and South Australia offer more practical and sometimes quicker routes through visas like the 190 or 491. If you're serious about settling in Australia, think beyond the immediate. Further education, regional opportunities, or employer-sponsored roles can all help strengthen your long-term prospects. Simply waiting for an invitation without adjusting your strategy could leave you behind in the current competitive environment. Let's talk numbers. What are realistic points in the 2025? Realistically, to be competitive in the next round, you'll need at least 85 to 90 points for general occupations, 70 to 75 points for critical occupations like nursing or teaching, and 95 plus points for high competition fields like ICT or accounting. These are general figures and can vary depending on the round and occupation. But it's safe to say that anything under 80 in a saturated occupation will be challenging. Again, this reinforces the importance of aligning your application with real market demand, not just chasing a high score. What about the new direction of Australia's migration program? Australia's migration system is going through a major rework as there's more emphasis on long-term value, productivity, and regional development. This means visas like 189 will continue, but under more scrutiny. It's no longer about just attracting any skilled workers. It's about targeting the right ones, for the right gaps. We're likely to see smaller but more focused invitation rounds, more priority given to regional and state-sponsored programs, fewer invites for non-critical occupations, and a rising focus on job-ready applicants, not just qualified ones. In other words, the 189 visa isn't disappearing, but it's becoming a harder path for many. What you should be doing right now. If you're targeting the 189 visa, here's a short list of things to work on before the next round. Finalize your skills assessment if it's not done yet. Take or retake your English test and aim for maximum points in this area. Maximize work experience and claim every point possible, and make sure your EOI reflects the most accurate and updated data. If your occupation isn't high priority, consider dual tracking your application with a 190 or 491 state nomination. And most importantly, don't assume anything. The key is preparation, timing, and adaptability. Don't just sit and wait. Be proactive. Understand where your occupation fits. Thanks for watching, and make sure to stay updated. Your future in Australia could depend on the next round, so don't miss it.